Good morning. I am so excited to be here today and to have the opportunity just to quickly introduce myself. My name is Rosani Rios, and I am the Strategic Populations Manager for the Office of Workforce Development. My hopes are for you to see this training as a powerful tool in your journey to employment if you are a Social Security beneficiary, if you are a community provider that serves individuals that receive cash benefits from Social Security. Our hopes are for you to leave this training understanding that there's this program and we're here to support you in your efforts to support your participants, your clients who you serve. And with all of that said, I am going to leave you with Michelle Mason.
Thank you, Rosani, and good morning again, everyone. And we're so glad that we finally come to this day that we can have everyone here in one room. My name is Michelle Mason, and I am the Disability Services Lead for the Office of Workforce Development. I also serve as the coordinator for our employment network. As indicated in our overview, today's webinar is intended to give you all an understanding of the Ticket to Work program and the employment network services afforded to the Ticket to Work program. We also want beneficiaries in the room to be able to understand how to access services of the employment network, and for our community providers and workforce partners, understanding that there is a clear process to refer individuals for services. But we're also looking forward to the end part of our session where we'll have our local partners who are actually on the ground and providing those services to our participants as they give an inside look of their successes and experiences that they've had in implementing the program. On our panel today, we have a full group of individuals that will present the information. We have Kevin Nickerson from the American Dream Employment Network. And then we also have from our local areas, LaTanya Goodwin, Ruby Reid, and Adrian Williams, who serve with East Central Georgia Regional Commission. And we have Lisa Davis and Stacey Anderson, who serve with Atlanta Regional Commission. And we have Rhonda Keeter and Kim Meadows for Northeast Georgia Regional Commission. We'll start our session now without delaying any additional time with Kevin Nickerson. Take it away, Kevin.
Thank you, fantastic. And I appreciate being here this morning with everybody to talk a little bit about the American Dream Employment Network and your role there in Georgia with us. So let me just give you some basics to get started. This is what I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover just some basics about the Ticket to Work program, some benefits for folks that are considering assignment to our employment network, especially considering you're a workforce entity. What does that mean? Is there a difference? And why you should consider us, the American Dream Employment Network. What makes us different? So just some basics, because I'm going to assume that not everybody here is expert on Ticket to Work. So we'll just give you some basics here. This has been around a while. Not that everybody understands this program to this day, but it came about in 1999. It was passed into law. It's actually called the Ticket to Work and Work Incentive Improvement Act. So it did a number of things. It gave us this wonderful Ticket to Work program I'll talk about, but it also did improve some work incentives, such as the Medicaid buy-in program. This is a state level incentive to help people who work to access Medicaid in a very different way with much higher income guidelines and resource limits. It also gave us a project called the Work Incentive Planning Assistance Project to help people understand better how their benefits work. I'll talk a little bit about how we're dealing with benefits advisement here at AIDEN, but this is nationally. I was actually under that project for many years. It is a good project that helps people get good information about what happens to your benefits when you go to work. Of course, you can get that right directly from us too here at AIDEN. And the star of the show for this legislation was the Ticket to Work and Self-Sufficiency Employment Program, which gives away some of the intent of the program, doesn't it, being self-sufficiency. And that is the goal, self-sufficiency, to reduce people's reliance on benefits, if not completely to eliminate your need for the benefit, to at least reduce that need on the benefit. The other thing that's very interesting about Ticket to Work, and from my perspective, having been in the field and kicking around since the early 90s, there wasn't other choices really for people to get services. that we're trying to get back to work. So this represented a choice for beneficiaries to try something different. Of course, we have vocational rehabilitation, which is super important in our country to help people get back to work as well. But this offered another option for people if they didn't need that level of support through vocational rehabilitation. So who is this for? Ticket holders, we call ticket holders here participants, I'll go over that later, but ticket holders in this process are qualified beneficiaries. That means you get either SSI, Supplemental Security Income Benefits, or Social Security Disability Insurance Benefits, or you could get both. But your age is 18 through 64, and you're receiving one of those benefits. Now, if you're wondering, there are a lot of people in this country that get benefits, and there's over 14 million ticket holders. So people eligible for this program in the US. So we have a lot of folks that we could help. And I hope some of them are on this line listening right now. You basically want to have interest in working at a level that will replace your disability benefit within a few years. That's the goal of the program. That's the basic premise of Ticket to Work. I know that can seem scary, but with somebody in your corner to help you understand what happens to benefits as you do go to work, it becomes a lot less scary. And if, a lot of folks that are not as familiar with Ticket or Social Security disability benefits might think that when people get on Social Security benefits, that's it, you're done, you're never going to work again. And that's just not true. In fact, we have new research, recent research, and some older research I'm going to share with you today, pointing to this fact. Some of the research I'm talking about now is through Mathematica and that I read. And said that upwards of 45% of the folks that get benefits are interested in returning to work. Not everybody will get there, but there's a high percentage of beneficiaries that do want to get off benefits and get back to work. So what is the benefit of just rather than just going out yourself and doing this, but rather than that, getting help through the ticket? What is the benefit? Well, you will get assistance from professionals to help you find employment and keep employment. And we'll talk a little bit about the one stop or the workforce center too. We know that being employed increases your financial stability. That's pretty much a given, right? More money makes life a little easier. The other thing that encourages beneficiaries to assign tickets is that while your ticket is assigned with us or another employment network, Social Security cannot conduct a medical continuing disability review on your case as long as you're making what they call timely progress toward our goals, and that being, towards self-sufficiency. So that's an advantage. And I think the reason that Social Security did this, folks, is because if you're trying to get yourself off benefits by going to work, they're going to leave you alone in terms of looking at the medical review side of the equation to see if you're still eligible. That's why they would normally do that. And they would do that based on a diary date that's individualized for each beneficiary. You're going to receive assistance navigating SSA work incentives. If you don't know what that is, there are many different policies that Social Security has in play right now to help people on benefits that want to go to work. Understanding those policies is another matter. We have folks here that can help you understand that. We'll give you guidance on your responsibilities when working with SSA and also some of the advantages of these work incentives to help you get back to work. In short, I want you to know this, folks. If you're thinking about going back to work, it's not like the rug gets pulled out from under you as soon as you try going to work. It doesn't work that way. Whether you're on SSI or SSDI, there's incentives to help both populations get back to work successfully. The other thing that a lot of folks won't be really thinking about, well, it depends on your age, I guess. But if you're younger, you're probably not thinking, if I go to work, this is going to help me with retirement someday. If you are getting closer to that age of retirement, you are probably thinking, it'd be nice if I was making a little bit more. So if you're on SSDI, I'll just tell you this, that's sort of a snapshot of what you would expect to get in retirement someday. And if you're thinking to yourself right now, that's not enough, one way that I know to increase that and improve your situation for retirement is to go back to work and get more credits of coverage, it's called. In fact, this year, I just looked it up. I've got it here in front of me. This year, when you earn $1,510, I'm sorry, that's next year. This year's $1,470. You earn 1 credit of coverage, and that goes towards your retirement. So as you're working and earning these credits, you're increasing the amount you're eligible for someday in retirement. So from the beneficiary's perspective, I like to think about this program and give you, some thoughts around what it means to you. I want you to understand and remind you that it's voluntary. We know not everybody can do this. If you're getting Social Security disability benefits, you have a significant condition you had to prove to be eligible. So there's no question about the fact that you're dealing with a disability that's probably not easy. It's upset a lot of things in your life. So Social Security understands that not everybody can get back to work. They would surely like to see that, but for those who can, this is an option. Okay. And I kind of look at disability as a spectrum. People come into, maybe getting benefits and they're not in the greatest shape, obviously. That's why they needed the benefit. But sometimes things can progress in a positive way and you can get well enough to try returning to work. That's when we come into the picture, I hope, to help you. Does this ticket program, again, provides choice, not just between being served by the state vocational rehabilitation agencies, and each state has one, by the way, or ticket, but you have a choice amongst the ticket to work providers called employment networks as to who will help you. So you have choice to return to work if you can, and then the choice of a provider you will work with if you decide to do this. We're interested in ensuring people have ongoing supports once they're employed. So is Social Security. So just know that once you're employed, we don't disappear. We'll be behind the scenes, but we're going to help you for many years, actually, after you're employed, to make sure you're doing well, to see if you need any supports, to see if things come up. Maybe you need an accommodation and you don't know how to request that. We can help with that. We can help you figure that out. So we can help for a longer period of time than even the vocational rehabilitation service can. It's hard to encapsulate what this program looks like because it is operationally a little complicated, but on a surface, it isn't. If you're a beneficiary and you're trying to get involved with this, this is from your perspective what you need to know. You have options. I told you that. You can choose an employment network. You can choose vocational rehabilitation. I think the most important thing you've chosen is to try returning to work and see how it's going to go for you. Because the only way you're going to figure it out is to try. But let's say you choose an employment network or VR. What do we do next? We develop a plan with that person, an IWP, an individual work plan. It's not rocket science, folks. It basically lays out what we're going to do to help you. It has goals, both short and long term. It talks about services we will offer you and some legalese that Social Security puts in there. Once we get that developed, the ticket is assigned and we actually provide services. What services? What we said we would do in the plan. That's why I say it's pretty straightforward. What we're going to lay out the services we'll offer you right in that plan. One of those services, of course, is to help you get working. So that is the primary goal of the program, right? Getting people back to work. So once that beneficiary you start working at levels that qualify you for making progress, that's what we're looking at, right? If you're making progress toward the goal. So that's kind of what we'll be looking at. And so will Social Security. As long as you are, we're in good shape. And even if you don't, by the way, you can still stay in the program. But what would happen is they'd start doing those medical reviews again. But let's say that person is employed, now what? We don't go away. As I said, we provide ongoing support to you long after you're employed, many years actually, about maybe 5+ years we can follow you. Again, behind the scenes, nobody will know we're helping you. But just to be there in case something comes up. Oftentimes it might be letters you get from Social Security, or like I said before, something comes up on the job and you just want a little help figuring that out. So what are the benefits of a workforce EN? I'll give you the general idea of what the program is and not completely what an EN is. So let's talk a little bit more about that. And specifically, one of the advantages of working with one of our AJCs or American Job Centers. AJCs do serve a lot of customers with disabilities. We know that. That's something that's tracked internally. So we've seen those statistics. There are some unique opportunities within the AJCs across the country, including there in Georgia, one of which would be individual training accounts. This is just a way that you can be helped through the AJC. Wage subsidy programs are another option to help people get in the door with an employer. And also, like I said, AJC staff really do have the skills and background to help you with this. That's why they're there. They're workforce professionals. In fact, Social Security considers AJCs a trusted partner because of these facts that I'm laying out for you. The other nice thing about the workforce centers is that they're going to be sprinkled across the state. as is the case in Georgia. And we do have multiple locations across the state there. I won't steal others' thunder because we'll talk about that a little bit later. Another research study that I liked that I included here was also by Mathematica. They do a lot of research in this regard. And I thought this would be interesting for folks that are considering assigning their ticket there at the Workforce Center, but also for workforce staff that I know are here today listening in. So let's look at this. Now, and I tripped myself up. I said one stop before because the names of the centers have changed over time. And it used to be one stops, okay? So this research showed that although small in number relative to all one-stop users, that is Social Security beneficiaries, the beneficiaries using one-stop services were large in number and represented a large share of beneficiaries in each state who were actively pursuing employment. So for those who were looking for employment, a pretty large number were using one-stop centers. Furthermore, this research showed that a large number of those beneficiaries who became employed after using the one-stops, about 35 to 50% had earnings above the substantial gainful activity level or SGA level. So they were doing pretty well with work once they were employed. This further states that the average earnings were much greater than the average earnings of beneficiaries nationally. So those who were using the one-stops did have higher earning levels. So it speaks to the support they got from the one-stops and ultimately the jobs they got with that assistance. Last, it says one-stop users also left SSA disability roles at relatively high rates during the 12 months after exit. So not only did they get jobs, but a lot of those folks did leave the benefits roles as a result of getting that help getting back to work. The very large number of SSI beneficiaries using one-stop services suggests that there is indeed an important role for one-stop centers in serving people with benefits and getting back to work. And we believe that too here at AIDEN, which is why we have worked closely with the Georgia Technical College system. There is a link here if you'd like to read more about that research, which I found kind of interesting. The last thing I want to share with you folks, because I know there's a lot to cover today, is why you should assign your ticket to AIDEN, or what we call the American Dream Employment Network. Our philosophy is really to help people get into a career path that's going to last, a long-term path. We want something that sparks your interest and your desires, and really speaks to what makes you tick, if you will. So we really want folks to be doing something long-term. This isn't about helping people just get short-term jobs and filling a financial gap that they have for a little short period of time. This is looking long-term at helping people figure out a career path that'll be worthwhile to help get off benefits. We value people with disabilities and what they bring to the workforce. And I tell you, in our economy today, I think employers are going to start recognizing they need to tap into all talent in our country, including people with disabilities. And we just think that this also gives you a diverse workforce. And we have so many examples of this benefiting the company when they actually do hire people with disabilities. We hope that we bring hope to individuals with disabilities by sharing our knowledge about work incentives and helping people understand that you aren't stuck. There is a path to get off benefits. And as I said, I'm not talking about the medical condition that people have. I don't know. Everybody's situation is different. But if you want to try getting back to work, there is a path. There is hope to help you get off benefits. We do have a long-term relationship with the people we serve. So we have a conversation with people before we assign tickets here, and just make sure that the folks have goals that are consistent with the ticket program, because we're going to be with you for a number of years if you decide to work with us. If you're wondering about the services we offer, I've listed them here. This is what folks can expect to get from AIDEN, regardless of which member site they go to across the country, and we are national. These are our core services. We offer right at the top something I'm very, very proud of, and something that is not required of employment networks, believe it or not. We offer benefits planning services. We provide this in-house. I mentioned WIPA that came out of that legislation, Work Incentive Planning Assistance. That's one way people can get this advice. But there's not a lot of WIPA providers across the country. So we decided to build this service in-house so that each of our member sites can offer this to any of the participants we serve, because this is foundational, we believe, to people making good decisions about their return to work. So we really think this will help you move forward in a way that'll remove some of the fears that you have about what happens to insurance. What happens to my cash benefit? If you're working with us, we can help develop a plan with you so you don't have to guess about these things. We offer career counseling. Sometimes people are out of work for a while and maybe they're not sure what they will do now. Maybe what they did before they can't do that for some reason. So we're going to look at those transferable skills and help you figure out how do we use those skills that you had doing what you can't do and move them into a realm of what you can do. And that's a part of what we do with career counseling. We'll help with the job placement, of course. Most people that come to us are looking for assistance in finding work. A lot of people do call us already working and really just need the advice around benefits. But the vast majority do need help with the job placement. We will help you with that in a number of ways by looking at your cover letters and resumes and making sure you're plugged into the right job banks and so forth. Certainly there at the job center, you're going to be plugged into a lot of job leads, which is great. Financial wellness is not a required service, and we're not forcing it on people that we serve, but we want to think about that with each of the people we serve so that you'll consider maybe you have a credit problem, or maybe you aren't the best at managing what money is coming in and you could use help with a budget. We're not the experts. We're going to connect you with some experts, though, if that's a service that you would like to have us help with. We think it's important. You're going to go back to work. You're going to have to make some decisions about finance. And if you're not plugged into some of these resources, we want you to be. It's not the easiest thing to talk about with people, but when I do, I'm surprised to find that a lot of people will say, yeah, I would love to have somebody help me with a budget. Or how can I fix my credit? I have bad credit. There's lots of ways to do this. And those things impact employment. This is why we want to make this a piece of the puzzle. Last, but certainly not least, as I mentioned before, we can offer long-term supports after somebody's working for 5, 6, 7 years after they're already employed. We'll be behind the scenes, as I said. We're not going to be known to the employer or other people in your sphere of influence. We're going to be an invisible advocate, but we'll be there as needed. As I said, maybe there's something that happens on the job. Maybe you want to know how to advance yourself on the job. Maybe that accommodation is needed. Maybe you get a letter from Social Security that concerns you that we can help translate. Maybe there's something that you have that comes up that is another financial goal you'd like to get help establishing. So those are all things we can help you with under long-term supports. A few more thoughts, and I promise we'll turn it back to Michelle. But we know when we serve folks, there's a certain amount of fear from the beneficiaries we've talked to. And I can tell you, I've talked to thousands, literally thousands and thousands of beneficiaries over my career. I have a pretty good sense of what the issues are. And one of the issues is, believe it or not people losing their cash benefits. Most people don't care. They're not making a lot on their benefit anyway. And so what I hear is, I just can't lose my health care. That's a biggie. I've got very expensive prescriptions and so forth. We get that. And there are incentives to help you either keep Medicaid if you happen to be on SSI, or Medicare if you're receiving SSDI. There's a path to help you keep insurance for many years. So if that's stopping you, let's talk, because we want to talk to you about the incentives that exist to keep you in insurance. We also know that as a beneficiary, you're going to utilize healthcare more than, let's say, somebody without a disability. This is one of the reasons we've decided to build this BWIA expertise, or Benefits and Work Incentive Advisement. That's an AIDN term. That Benefits and Work Incentive Advisement we know is very important. We know that you need accurate information about how things work. If you don't, you won't make really an informed choice because you don't have the information. So I think that's core to what we're trying to do, is make sure people are making good decisions based on reality and understanding their healthcare options. We don't want you to be so afraid of losing healthcare and keep that, have that keep you from going back to work. So talk to us about this if you are concerned about that. We think that our members, AIDN members, and they're represented here today, some of our sites in Georgia, these are some of the most knowledgeable providers in the Ticket to Work universe. I mean, maybe I'm a little biased. I'm one of the directors and founders here of AIDN, but I think because you understand the work incentives and you understand the ticket program, having that knowledge of both of those worlds really makes you a valuable advocate. So a few more things from our participants' perspective. If we give you good advice about benefits, we can help prevent overpayments. That's another core principle here, or reason why we want this BWIA service. We do not want people getting overpaid. This is a big problem in our country with beneficiaries that do return to work. If you're a beneficiary and you've tried this and you've gotten an overpayment, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Can we prevent every overpayment? Probably not, but we have mitigated this quite a bit with some of our processes here because we know it's an issue. One of the things we're going to help you with is assist you in reporting new employment. So Social Security knows you're working. We have a template for this. We're going to be able to keep everything on record that we've done with you and with Social Security. So we'll have proof that we've done this to support you later. And we have a whole standard process that we'll use to make sure you're in good shape that way. We do encourage you to report your wages. Anybody that's working should report wages. This is the #1 way to prevent overpayments. There's a number of ways that you can report wages today. It's so many ways we've had to put together a fact sheet to keep it all straight for folks that we serve. But we're going to make sure you understand all the different ways that you have to report your wages, including the timing of when you should do that and so forth. We're going to help keep your record up to date by doing this. We're also going to keep an internal record of things that you provide us here just as a backup. So you'll get wage information. We'll also request a report to figure out what you've used in terms of work incentives. That report is called a benefits planning query, or BPQI. This is kind of how we get the whole process started with that baseline knowledge of your benefits. Last thing I'll share with you, some additional benefits of assignment. Again, I mentioned, I think briefly, that employment networks are not required to understand all these incentives. I've spent a lot of time talking about this because we think this is a cornerstone of helping people move forward. You know, if I was in the shoes of a beneficiary and I didn't understand how these incentives work, I would probably be hesitant to try this too. I really would. If I had somebody in my corner that really understood this system, I probably would make different decisions. And that's what we're seeing with our beneficiaries, I'm thankful to say. So we're going to also not only give you this advice, but we're going to develop a report for you, a written report that we have that will show you your use of work incentives after we get that report I mentioned, and your future use based on your goals and the work that you plan to do. We're going to sort of look at what you did do, and we're going to predict what's going to happen based on the job you're going to end up with. We will, you know, following these protocols and putting these things in place, we've seen that it has reduced the likelihood of overpayments. I mentioned this before. Last thing I'll say is we can act as an advocate. Sometimes you need somebody in your corner. Social Security is a big system. I think we all know that. It can feel intimidating to deal with folks in that system. We can help you with that as needed. I mentioned this also, that this is a private support. It's not something others will know about. We don't generally interact with an employer. There's maybe 1% of the time where we might want to interact with an employer, and you might want us to on your behalf. And that's a complicated scenario, but generally speaking, we're never going to be involved with your employer. And the last thing I'll tell you before I turn it back is that having support assures greater success. I've never met anybody who's had more support in their life do worse. Have you? So we think that if you've got some support in your corner, you're probably going to do better. And if I had this option and I was in these shoes, I would want that too. Last thing I'll say is there's no cost to you. This is covered by Social Security because they want people to be supported that want to get back to work. And here's a picture of myself and Mary Lynn, the co-directors here of American Dream Employment Network. I really appreciate the time I was given this morning to talk with you about this. I'm going to stop my share now and turn it back to Michelle.
Thank you, Kevin. It's Robin Roberts. We have one poll question for the audience, which we will launch now. All right, thank you everyone for responding. Michelle, did you want to comment on this?
Yes, I am very impressed in looking at these totals. The correct answer is B. The program provides services to age groups 18 through 64. So keep up the good work, paying attention.
Great, okay. And now I can turn it back over to Michelle. She's going to provide an overview of Georgia's employment network.
Good morning again, all. My name is Michelle Mason, serving as the Employment Network Coordinator for our Employment Network. During this segment of the webinar, we will review WorkSource Georgia Employment Network services from a practical level. You will also be provided information for beneficiaries to access services, as well as information for community partners to make referrals for services. Throughout the presentation, I will use the acronym EN when referring to our employment network. As indicated in the Ticket to Work and EN overview, the EN is a free employment service for the Ticket to Work program responsible for providing benefits counseling, career counseling, and placement services. To go further, the Office of Workforce Development is an authorized employment network for Social Security Administration's Ticket to Work program. This partnership allows our local workforce development areas to provide unique services to individuals with disabilities seeking employment. Currently, WorkSource Georgia's EN provides statewide virtual services through agreements with 3 of our local workforce area partners. Those partners are Atlanta Regional Commission, Northeast Georgia Regional Commission, and East Central Georgia Regional Commission. By partnering with the local workforce areas, we have the ability to provide beneficiaries with a direct connection to one-stop services, such as training, education, pre-employment, and post-employment services. As an example, a participant who received SSDI is enrolled in the Employment Network program, may be duly enrolled in the One Stop for Title I services. They may be completing LPN training. This combination of enrollment gives them the advantage of receiving benefits counseling and employment support from the EN point of contact, in addition to employment and training services provided by the local workforce area staff. There is also constant communication and coordination between the EN point of contact and the local area staff throughout the process of services. Think of it as an added layer of support. I will note, participation in the EN program services is not dependent upon enrollment in the Title I services offered by the local areas. It is an option available in the case beneficiaries are interested. They must also meet the eligibility requirements for Title I services separately. To date, beneficiaries enter WorkSource Georgia's EN services from 3 directions. A majority of beneficiaries use the Ticket to Work portal provided by Social Security Administration to contact us directly for services. Others have been referred by our local workforce areas and community partners. Now, to the beneficiaries attending the session, I will turn my attention to you. The Ticket to Work program can feel like you are navigating an endless maze of Social Security jargon and red tape. However, there are a number of incentives available to protect your cash benefits and medical coverage while you are transitioning back to work. With the assistance of the EN, there are basically 5 general steps in the Ticket to Work process. Once you contact WorkSource Georgia's EN for services and complete the suitability screening with the local point of contact, the process begins. First, we develop a plan with you to help you return to work. This plan is called an individual work plan and referred to as an IWP. Once you have reviewed and signed your plan, we assign your ticket to WorkForce Georgia's EN and pause your medical review with SSA. We also take the time to educate you in understanding your rights and protections under SSA. Third, job search. Job search can be challenging, especially when you have been out of work for a while or changing careers. So at this step, we support you to explore your employment options. You are now with the 4th step. At this point, the EN point of contact has established a relationship with you and checks in with you at a regularly scheduled time to help you stay on track and avoid problems with Social Security Administration. And once you have achieved employment, we check in to see if you are doing well transitioning. For example, does the schedule work for you? Are you getting along with your supervisors and coworkers? Because we know it is one thing to get a job. The challenge is keeping the job. The 5th step is more so maintenance. You focus on work and enjoy benefits protection while we monitor your benefits. Now keep in mind, things begin to change regarding your cash benefits once the trial work period ends. If you notice, we are in place to assist you with the heavy lifting of services, while your main priority is to focus on obtaining and retaining employment. Our EN points of contact are here to ensure you experience the key benefits of the EN program. We provide guidance and support at every step. We assist you to understand your rights and protections under SSA. We manage all SSA paperwork with your written authorization to do so. We provide job readiness and placement support. We provide clear communication with SSA on your behalf regarding your benefits, again, with your written authorization to do so. We also provide ongoing support, reporting your wages to SSA, because we want to prevent you from having any issues with overpayments. So, if you are interested in WorkSource Georgia's EN services, please use the contact information provided on the participant information sheet shown to you on this screen to reach out to one of our local points of contact by phone or email. I will now turn my attention to the community partners in attendance. Partnership is key to our participants' success. The main goal is connecting individuals with disabilities to gainful employment and to empower them to become self-sufficient. The EN's collaboration with local workforce area partners is intended to complement their existing employment services. However, collaborating with community partners such as yourselves allows our EN to grow legs in the community to reach hidden job seekers. Everyone's not walking into the local areas for that level of services, and we understand that. We understand you are the boots on the ground within the community, with a finger on the pulse of the needs of the people you serve, and we thank you in advance for your partnership. I can imagine at this point you're asking, what are the next steps in the process after this session? How do I refer participants? What do I do now? And I am glad you asked. The referral process is shared on the screen and will be uploaded to the online library after this session. I'll take a moment to briefly review the steps with you for making a referral to the employment network. There are 3 basic questions used in the pre-screening process once your participant has disclosed their disability status. You may find these questions are already embedded in your program's intake list of questions. And they are: 1. Does the participant receive SSI or SSDI cash benefits? 2. Is the participant seeking to return to work full-time or at the substantial wage set by SSA? And the third question, is the participant open to moving out of cash benefits? If the answer is yes to all of the above, then share the participant information sheet with your participant and make the referral to the local workforce area point of contact. An email to the point of contact informing them of your referral is typically the process. Please keep a record on your end of the individuals you are referring, and we will secure a log as well on our end. This will assist in follow-up and progress reports in the future. And the last part in the referral process is the participants acting on their own. They contact one of the local area point of contact, expressing their interest in EN services, and we will take it from there with suitability screening and possibly intake according to the process we just reviewed. Feedback regarding progress after referral is available as needed and agreed. This concludes my presentation on WorkSource Georgia's EN, and it is my hope the information was clear and gave you a good picture of what it looks like for citizens you serve and feel safe in referring them to our EN for services. And once again, I thank you for attending. My direct contact information is listed here as well as on the collateral materials provided.
Thank you, Michelle. We have another poll question for the audience about Georgia's employment network. All right. So a fee must be paid by beneficiaries to participate in WorkSource Georgia's employment network services, and the answer is false. All right. Thank you. All right. We will now show 2 animated employment network videos that you can use for your own outreach and referral activities. The first video will address the participant's journey, and the second video will address the referral process to the employment network.
This video will review the contents of the Employment Network Services Participant Journey, which is available on our website. OWD Employment Network Services Participant Journey. Ticket to Work program participants receive benefits counseling and job placement services from the Employment Network local point of contact to include career counseling, assistance developing a plan to return to work, job leads for job opportunities, job interview guidance, career counseling, and job development services. Employment Network job placement services complement the career services provided by local workforce staff, when applicable. The journey. 1. We develop a plan with you to help you go back to work. This plan is called an individual work plan. 2. We assign your ticket to our employment network and pause your medical review with SSA. We educate you in understanding your rights and protections under SSA. 3. We support you to explore your employment options. 4. We check in to help you stay on track and avoid problems. 5. You focus on work and enjoy benefits protection while we monitor your benefits. For more information, please email Michelle Mason. This video will review the contents of the How Can I Make a Referral for Employment Network Services, which is available on our website. How can I make a referral for Employment Network Services? The Office of Workforce Development is an employment network for Social Security Administration Ticket to Work program. This partnership allows our local workforce development areas to provide unique services to individuals with disabilities seeking employment. Ticket to Work program participants receive benefits counseling and job placement services from the Employment Network local point of contact to include career counseling, assistance developing a plan to return to work, job leads for job opportunities, job interview guidance, career counseling, and job development services. Employment Network job placement services complement the career services provided by the local workforce staff when applicable. Participants can access statewide virtual services with our Certified Work Incentive Planner. The journey. 1. There are 3 basic questions used in the pre-screening process once your participant has disclosed their disability status. 1. Does the participant receive SSI or SSDI cash benefits? 2. Is the participant seeking to return to work full-time or at the substantial wage set by SSA? 3. Is the participant open to moving out of cash benefits status eventually? 2. If the answer is yes to these 3 questions, share the EN informational sheet with the participant and refer to the local workforce area point of contact. When possible, please keep a record of the individuals you are referring for services. This will assist with follow-up and progress reports in the future. 3. Participants contact their local area point of contact for services, and we will take it from there. Feedback regarding progress after referral is available as needed and agreed. For additional information and Employment Network services, contact your local workforce area and speak with the local point of contact.
Right, and now we will hear from 3 of our local workforce development areas.
Okay, good morning. My name is Kim Meadows, and I am the project manager for Northeast Georgia Regional Commission, or WorkSource Northeast Georgia. We cover 12 counties in the Northeast Georgia region, including Barrow, Clark, Elbert, Greene, Jackson, Jasper, Madison, Morgan, Newton, Oconee, Oglethorpe, and Walton County. So we cover those 12 counties in the Northeast Georgia area. I am also the AIDEN representative for our 12 counties. And I think it's important as we are talking about the Ticket to Work program that we also just highlight some of our success stories and some of the people who have successfully went through the Ticket to Work program in our region. So I want to highlight about 3 people for you all today. So my first participant that I want to highlight is Jessica. So Jessica actually started with the Ticket to Work program about 3 years before I started being her AIDN representative. So she was looking to come off of benefits. She started into the Ticket to Work program. She became employed. By the time I started working with Jessica, she had been working for about 3 years. She was in full-time employment. She was in a job that she enjoyed. But when I came in as her AIDN representative, I maintained monthly contact with her. So if she had any other things that were going on, we kind of talked through those things. If she needed additional counseling, benefits counseling, I was able to refer her to Michelle. And then also I was able to provide additional resources for her as well as she went through her employment. So Jessica exited the program about 3 months ago, and she exited successfully having been employed for 5 years. And she has now met her goal of being continually employed. So she's one of the people I wanted to highlight. An additional person I wanted to highlight is Alicia. So Alicia went through Northeast Georgia or WorkSource Northeast Georgia through the WIOA program, and she attained her associate's degree from Athens Technical College in Health Information Technology. So she got her degree, and then Alicia became a part of the Ticket to Work program. So I worked with Alicia on getting her resume. We worked on interviewing skills, and Alicia was able to obtain a job in her field, and she got a job at the local hospital in our area. So Alicia started off working PRN. She was working about 40 hours a month, and she did that for about 3 months. And then she obtained full-time employment with that hospital. And that's been over a year ago. And Alicia still works full-time at the hospital. So we still maintain monthly contact. So some of the services that Alicia has been getting from us through the monthly contact is she's still getting benefits counseling. And also Alicia is looking to move up at the job that she's at. So we're looking at ways for her to increase her wages, whether that's going back into additional training or applying for other jobs within that same organization to help increase her wages. So Alicia is doing really well. She is enjoying her job. I enjoy my monthly contact with Alicia each month. And then the last 2 participants I want to talk about as far as success stories, they have similar stories. They both wanted to be in the healthcare field. They want to become gainfully employed. They want to work in the healthcare field, but they didn't have the skills to be in the healthcare field, so they needed training. So we co-enrolled them with the WIOA program, and they were both able to get their medical assistant certifications. And so now they are both licensed medical assistants. One young lady just started as of September the 20th. She started her job as a medical assistant. And the other young lady, she is completing an externship, but the doctor's office that she's working with, they have said that they will hire her once she completes her externship. So again, just being able to provide those resources, just that extra support, the benefits counseling, we're able to help them achieve their goals. So those are just some of the stories that we wanted to put behind the Ticket to Work program. As you're hearing about the benefits, we also wanted to talk about some of our success stories. So thank you very much.
My name is Lisa Davis, and I'm Project Administrator with WorkSource Atlanta Regional. WorkSource Atlanta Regional has had the pleasure of providing Ticket to Work services for our 7-county region. And this region right now includes Clayton, Cherokee, Douglas, Fayette, Henry, Rockdale, and Gwinnett. We are looking forward to expanding our service area to include the City of Atlanta, Cobb County, DeKalb, and Fulton County. We're excited to continue to provide these services and look forward to serving you and your clients. So now I'm going to turn it over to your primary point of contact for our area, Stacey Anderson, and she will talk a little bit more about our services.
Good morning. My name is Stacey Anderson, and I am the primary point of contact for the Atlanta Regional Commission. My title is the Disability Employment Specialist, and part of my daily activities include encouraging people who receive SSI or SSDI to enter or re-enter the workforce. And without saying a whole lot more about what I do daily, I think that I could best explain the work that I do by way of a success story. So, the participants come in to the center and they also end up being referrals from the community. This one particular referral, we had a gentleman who, when COVID first started, really had a desire to return to work, but because of his health issues, he was concerned about leaving his home and going out into the community to work because of COVID. With a lot of encouragement, he accepted a position working from home. But of course, as we all know, working from home during COVID entails being able to be virtual, meaning using a platform of Zoom, of Teams, WebEx, and it just so happened that his training was online. Coupled with his anxiety, he could not handle being online and having people watching. He had a few anxiety episodes, and the employer was very, very accommodating, but this gentleman just could not handle it. So he quit. After more coaching, more benefits counseling, more talking about his fears and how he could be accommodated on the next job, talking about the pay rate versus the number of hours and how his benefits may or may not be affected, this gentleman accepted another position. This position was now outside of the home because we ended up having COVID vaccinations and all that kind of thing. This gentleman now is not only working outside of his home, but the job entails less hours, which helps with him being anxious. And today, he's still successfully working. So in terms of thinking about what we do as a neighborhood, this is the direction that we're going.
Hi, I'm LaTanya Goodwin. I'm the Director of Workforce East Central Georgia. At East Central Georgia, we celebrate National Disability Employment Awareness not only during this month, but each and every day. As an employee network partner, we support the remaining 140 counties that are not serviced by the Atlanta and Athens area. Through Workforce, we are dedicated to helping you with your career goals. Whether it's your first job or you are re-entering the workforce, we engage with employer partners that offer workplaces where every employee has the freedom to reach and realize their full potential. To help you reach that potential, we offer supportive services such as transportation and childcare assistance. Also, we look for innovative training, such as in our IT and cybersecurity fields. That also includes web development and gaming. So whether you're looking for a job in a tech field, healthcare, or retail, or anywhere else, our team is committed to helping you. Next, I would like to introduce two of our team members, Reid and Adrian Williams. They each have extensive experience and success with helping those reach their full potential, and they are our points of contact. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Reid, and I am a certified vocational rehabilitation counselor, and I work the entire state of Georgia, exclusive of those areas covered by others' regional office. What I do primarily is assist people in returning to work by providing them with valuable information regarding work incentive. understandably, there's a fear, a great fear of attempting to return to work when a person has limitations that makes them eligible for services. But I'm here to let you know that Social Security not only encourages you to return to work, but also there are many incentives to assist you in making that happen. So through providing counseling and specific information regarding your benefits and your needs, I'm able to help the individual, you, become more self-supporting without the fear of losing Social Security before you are able to support yourself. So give me a call and let's talk about how Social Security could benefit you and you can maximize your income.
Good morning. My name is Adrian Williams, and I am a certified benefits counselor. As my colleague Ruby Reid explained, Social Security is fearful for some people. It took a while to get those benefits, so folks sometimes have a fear of losing those benefits. Our job is to help ease those individuals back into the workforce. Social Security does want you to go to work if that is what you desire to do. The benefits, the WIPA program or benefits planning program is geared towards assisting individuals who receive SSI and SSDI in understanding the rules that will impact their benefits. That's what we're here for. Is Social Security, as you know from having applied for benefits, can be very complicated and confusing. Ruby and I have both gone through training that took months and years to get to the point where we are today. So you didn't have that training. So that's what we're here for, is to give you the benefit of our knowledge and to assist you. I'm working currently with a young lady who is in a training program at the VA. This is a situation where folks here, and one of my favorite words I used to say was, she's getting her information from what they say. They told her that you're in a training program, that income doesn't count. They were wrong. It does count. However, she came to us early enough that we can walk her through the rest of the process, show her how she can still continue to get her benefits as she completes her training, and eventually go on to being self-sufficient and eventually working her way off of her benefits. We're here for you. No question is dumb. The only dumb question is one that you don't ask. So please, please take advantage of our free, can I say that again? Free services. We're here for you. We are your support team. So please, again, reach out to Ruby or myself in regard to your benefit issues, and we are here to help you ease back into the workforce.
All right, thank you to all of our local area panelists. We now have one more poll question for you about the local area programs. Okay, looks like the poll has ended. Michelle, did you want to make a comment about the results?
Absolutely, Robin. This one wasn't as clear and clean as the other two, and so it's understood that it's a little difficult to answer. The question was, which of the below it's not? And the third answer is correct. Cash benefits and medical coverage are not secured during the trial work period. That is not true. Cash benefits and medical coverage is secured during the trial work period, and it is a service that we ensure is met. So kind of a trick question, but you did well for the most part.
All right, thank you. Well, that concludes our presentations for today. But we will now ask the panelists to turn on their videos and their audio to take any questions that you might have. I don't see any open questions in the Q&A box, but as a reminder, you can enter a question in the Q&A box, or you can raise your hand. You should see an icon at the bottom of your screen that says raise hand, a box that says Q&A. So please ask away. Also, if you have a question for a specific person, you can enter that as well. Got a quiet group. Give you a couple minutes. Any questions that the panelists want to raise? Okay, so we do have just the comments saying no questions, very good information and very well presented. Thank you for that. And I will go ahead and mention, as you're thinking, if you would like to contact an employment network representative, you can locate their information on the information sheet shown here. Andrea, if we can go ahead and go to that. We will include a link to this document and a recording of today's webinar, along with additional resources within a week. And we thank you for participating in today's webinar. We will hang on for another minute or so in case you think of questions. If there are none, then we thank you for participating and hope that you have a wonderful day.